All right, peace. Welcome back, YouTube. You see the title right here. Report Al Sharpton was FBI informant on the mob. And I want to say this. You ever wonder why the so-called black community doesn't go anywhere? We always stay stagnant. It's because 99% of the quote unquote black leaders that they put on television, they're controlled. They're government operatives. They're in the CIA or the FBI. They work for them. That's why we can't progress because they're all compromised. So don't expect anyone that you see on TV or anyone of prominence, any celebrity or athlete, to lead our people anywhere because they all sold out. Allegedly, of course, I'm saying everything allegedly. But as you see right here, Al Sharpton was an FBI informant for the mob. And the fact that he's not, the fact that he's still alive shows that he still is providing some valuable information to the FBI that's keeping him alive today. And, probably keeping so-called black people in check. That's basically his job, is to make sure that the rowdy blacks don't get too rowdy. He basically does what he does, and he gets us to calm down once he gets a token of appeasement. So if someone gets assaulted or someone gets is unalived, they're not alive anymore. He marches to protest, he stays to protest, and then he talks to some people, and then he says, "Okay, we got something now. We can all go home." So it's just like giving us a token, and that's his job. But let's read a little bit about this article. The Reverend Al Sharpton has served as an outspoken civil rights activist, presidential nominee, television host, and if a new report is to be believed, a key informant to the FBI. Yeah, that's believable. All these people are informants. That's why it's like even um, Jesse Jackson. It's like he's not who he says he is. He claims to be. I don't know. Same with Farrakhan. All these people, they're not who they say they claim to be. Allegedly, they're not necessarily for their people. I'm not saying that they're not, you know, necessarily for their people in a genuine way. I think that some of them actually do care. Like Farrakhan actually does care about so-called black people, but he understands that there are some forces that are going on that he can't go against in regards to certain things that he understands. He understands a lot of our history, but he makes us go down certain paths that are not going to be beneficial for us long term, as in going into the path of Islam. Islam, is a religion that can help people have a more structured life, can help get order in your life, just like Christianity can. But that's not our culture. Our culture is the scriptures. We're the people of the book. We're not the people of the Quran. All right. According to the lengthy report by website The Smoking Gun, Sharpton 69 served as confidential informant number 7 in the 1980s, playing a prominent role collecting information on New York City's most prolific mobsters. Sharpton has denied the claims. You can't deny the truth, man. In a Tuesday morning press conference, Sharpton said that he wasn't an informant, but rather he was merely cooperating with the FBI. I'm not a rat, I'm a cat, Sharpton reportedly said, according to the journalist live tweeting the event. He continued that the only thing he was ashamed of were those old fat pictures that have been shown in conjunction with the reports. Yeah, he did look a little bit. Al Sharpton kind of looked like he kind of looked like one of those old Freemasons back in the like back in the early 1900s, like the little Irish, Scottish rice Freemasons. He kind of looked like that with the mustache. Yeah, y'all know it's like Albert Pike looking dudes. All right, but yeah, he said I'm not a rat, I'm a cat. Yeah, that's hilarious. The Smoking Guns report, based on interviews, court records, and hundreds of pages of documents obtained as the result of requests invoking Freedom of Information Act, claims that Sharpton worked for a joint FBI/NYPD crime task force that was primarily pursuing the notorious Genovese crime family. Sharpton allegedly was sent out to talk to mobsters with a bug briefcase. The website said that the information he obtained led to the bugging of 2 Genovese family social clubs, 3 cars, and a dozen phone lines approved by 8 different federal judges. During Tuesday's press conference, he admitted with working with FBI for 2 years and wearing a wire to record conversations. The conversations were recorded, and I will record them today. He said, we are victims trying to stop something. In a previous interview, Sharpton told the New York Times, most of what I've looked through on the smoking gun does not remind me of anything I was involved in. The site says Sharpton denied his claims in an interview, particularly one stating he was flipped after a drug deal. The claim is, I helped get the mob, not what I was in the mob. Sharpton said, I was never told I was an informant. It was long been known that Sharpton worked with the FBI in the 1980s to assist in the investigation against boxing promoter Don King. He told New York Daily News that he contacted authorities after Gambino family member Joseph Buonanno and others sent him death threats for trying to help African Americans succeed on the business side of the music industry. If you're a victim of a threat, you're not an informant. You're a victim trying to protect yourself, he said. I encourage kids all the time to work with law enforcement. You're acting like it's a scandal for me to do that. No, it's not a scandal for you to do that. But at the same time, you know, we know he just didn't do that out of just protecting himself. He knows that he was getting, paid, some money under the table to do what he was doing, allegedly. But, based off my perspective, Al Sharpton, based off his influence in the political world and just as being a leader of the so-called black community, you can tell that he was set up as a prop in order to do things, for the bidding of the government to keep our people in this kind of circular, stagnant position. We could tell just by the places that we've been in the last 30 years, we haven't really made any improvement. We actually have made so many less improvements. We've had such a less um, success rate in all areas. Our employment rate, our business ownership rate is so down. Our education rate, our reading level, our incarceration rate is so high. Single mother rate so high. STD rate, it's so bad. Abortion rate, it's everything. It's just out of proportion. And this is in the last 30 years. So I just can imagine how things were, you know, just as he's been, involved since the 80s. So you can tell he was, he's an informant for, keeping our people down. So that's why I say you gotta be careful with all these people that you kind of see as quote unquote leaders, because they're not really who they say they claim to be. All right. And everything I said in this video is alleged. Peace.